When you have a criminal record, it can seriously affect your chances of getting a job. Employers often run background checks on potential employees. Even a minor conviction, like a summary offense or a traffic ticket, can show up on these checks. For example, someone who pleaded guilty to public urination thought it was just a small fine. But later, when applying for jobs, that record caused problems because employers saw it on the background check. Many employers see a criminal record as a risk. They worry about trust and reliability, especially if the job involves money, children, or sensitive information. This means you might be denied a job even if the crime was minor or happened a long time ago. It can stop you from getting promotions or better pay too. That's why it's very important to talk to a lawyer before making decisions like pleading guilty. Sometimes, through programs like ARD or expungement, you can remove or reduce the impact of your criminal record. Remember, your future job opportunities depend a lot on how you handle your case now. Background checks. Background checks are a common step in the hiring process. Employers use them to see if a candidate has a criminal record, which can influence their decision to hire or not. In Pennsylvania and many other places, these checks include looking at criminal charges, convictions, and sometimes even arrests. Many people don't realize that even minor offenses, like summary crimes, appear on these reports. For example, a small offense such as public intoxication or fake ID use might seem unimportant at the time, but it can show up when an employer does a background check years later. These checks can also affect your chances for certain professional licenses or jobs that require security clearances. Some employers have strict rules that automatically disqualify anyone with a criminal record. Because background checks are so common, it's important to be honest about your past if asked, and to seek legal advice to understand what will appear and how to handle it. Knowing your rights and options, like expungement, can help protect your chances for employment in the future. Family trust. A criminal record can also deeply affect your family life and the trust your loved ones have in you. When someone is charged or convicted of a crime, it often causes stress and worry within the family. Family members may feel disappointed or even afraid, depending on the nature of the offense. In many cases, a conviction, especially for serious crimes like drug offenses or violence, can lead to restrictions on how much time you can spend with your children or even affect custody arrangements. For example, some guilty pleas may include conditions like supervised visits or limits on contact with certain family members. The social stigma around having a criminal record can cause family members to feel embarrassed or isolated from their community. This can lead to strained relationships and loss of support. That's why it's important to work with a good attorney and follow the legal advice carefully. The goal is not just to handle the case, but also to protect your family relationships and rebuild trust over time. Legal restrictions. Having a criminal record can bring legal restrictions that affect your daily life beyond just your job or family. For example, certain convictions may prevent you from owning a firearm, voting, or obtaining specific professional licenses. In Pennsylvania, some offenses require registration, such as sex offenses under Megan's Law, which can severely limit your freedom and privacy. These legal restrictions can also affect your ability to travel freely or qualify for certain government benefits. For example, if you are on probation or parole, you may face limits on where you can go or whom you can associate with. It's important to understand the legal consequences of your conviction, because they often last long after your sentence is over. Working with a criminal defense attorney can help you know what restrictions apply and if there are ways to reduce or remove them, such as through expungement or petitioning the court. Knowing your rights and legal limits can help you avoid further problems and rebuild your life successfully. Social stigma. A criminal record carries a social stigma that can deeply affect how others see you and how you see yourself. Friends, neighbors, and even distant relatives might judge you differently once they learn about your past. This judgment can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness. People often don't understand the full story behind a conviction and may assume the worst. This can make it hard to build new relationships or maintain existing ones, both socially and professionally. In many communities, a criminal record can label you as untrustworthy or dangerous, even if your crime was minor or a long time ago. This stigma can hold you back from opportunities to rebuild your life and improve your situation. The key is to stay focused on positive steps like following your attorney's advice, working hard, and proving through actions that you are committed to change. Over time, consistent positive behavior can help overcome the negative effects of stigma. Remember, your past doesn't have to define your future. Expungement options. One of the most important ways to reduce the negative impact of a criminal record on your job and family life is through expungement. Expungement is a legal process that can remove or seal your criminal record, making it harder for employers, landlords, or the public to see it. In Pennsylvania, certain offenses, especially minor or first-time offenses, may be eligible for expungement. Programs like Accelerated Rehabilitative Disposition, ARD, or other diversion programs can sometimes lead to expungement after successful completion. These programs allow first-time offenders or non-violent criminals to avoid a formal conviction on their record. Once the program is finished, the case can be expunged as if it never happened. However, not all crimes qualify, and the rules can be complex. Some serious offenses are not eligible for expungement, and the timing for applying varies depending on the case. For example, you often have to wait several years after completing your sentence or probation before you can apply. Hiring a skilled criminal defense attorney can help you understand if you qualify for expungement and assist in filing the necessary paperwork. They can also guide you through the process to increase your chances of success. Expungement can open doors to better jobs, housing, and social acceptance. It is a powerful tool to help you rebuild your life and reduce the long-term consequences of your past mistakes. So, if you think you may be eligible, talk to a lawyer to explore your options. Moving forward, having a criminal record can feel like a heavy burden, but it doesn't have to define your entire life. Moving forward means taking positive steps to rebuild your reputation, relationships, and opportunities. This starts by accepting responsibility and working closely with your attorney to understand your case and legal options. Following the advice of your lawyer, such as completing community service, attending rehabilitation programs, or getting a stable job or education, shows the court and your family that you are serious about change. Judges and prosecutors often look favorably on defendants who are proactive and committed to self-improvement. It's also important to avoid further legal trouble by staying away from risky situations and influences. Keep a low profile, stay off social media drama, and focus on creating a healthy, productive life. Rebuilding trust with your family takes time and patience, but honesty and consistent good behavior will help. Remember, your past does not have to control your future. With effort, support, and the right legal help, you can create a better life ahead. Thanks for watching! If you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button to stay updated with more real stories and legal advice. Now, think about this. How much has a criminal record affected someone you know, at work or home? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might help others. And don't forget to watch our next video, How Can You Seal or Expunge Your Criminal Record? You won't want to miss these life